Section 3, Markup Tools. First video of Section 3 is Annotation Tools. So with Bluebeam open, depending on how you have your interface configured, you may or may not see these tools. So over here to the right, you'll see some of the annotation tools I'm going to go through. And you can access these tools from the menu heading tools and then drop down to markups. And you can see you can access all of them. And you can also get the keyboard shortcut. So next to this polygon is Shift P. We come up to pen, that's P, text box T. Also, if you're not seeing these tools over here, you can actually right click and then you can turn on shapes and text, and that's going to give you the exact ones that you see on my screen as well. So I'm going to go ahead and just place a text box. And what I'm going to do is select that button, pick the first point, drag, and then let go, and that's the second point. And then I'm just going to type text box and then click out of it. So that's going to give us our box. With this selected, we can come up here and we can change some options or some properties specific to this annotation. So I want to change the subject and layer. This isn't too important, but when you update these items, it affects our markup list down here. So if I expand this, you can see that when I apply this text box, we'll get that markup and then the comments, so what's inside of it, the author, date. This is going to be applied to every annotation that you apply to this document. So I'm going to come back over here, close that markups list. If you don't see the markups list, you can actually right click, show, and then find markups list in here. Click that to open it. If it comes up here, you can easily drag it down and change where it's being docked. So coming back in here, we have also highlight option. So by grabbing that, I can now select a number of items. I can select multiple items if needed. For this example, I'll grab this. We can see it's highlighted. We again have some options specific to this tool. Next one is a pen. So this is kind of free form. Next is cloud with text. So if I cloud an area, I then have a box that I can drag around after I place the cloud. Then I can place this box. And then I can apply text within one tool. Back over here, we also have the cloud button. So if I click on that, just simply draw a cloud. And with a lot of these tools that after we place it, we can then grab and actually flex these things. So if we want to change the shape of it or even scale it, we can do that. And most of these annotation items we can do that with. Come down here. I can also place a call out. So for example, place this. The first point is the arrow. The next point is where the text is going to begin. So we have stamps. Stamps are pretty simple. We drop that down and we get a number of default stamps. We can also create a stamp and import stamps as well. I'm not going to go over that. So we'll grab a stamp, place it, and we're good to go. We can scale it from here. We can also move it around. We can insert an image. We can snapshot, which is essentially just copying a section of the PDF, and then you can copy it around to different sheets or to the same sheet in different areas. So if we come down here to line, so this is a simple pick one point, pick the next point, and then you're done. And then with this activated, you can come up here and actually change the start and then the end. So to kind of look like different things, depending on what you're trying to convey or what you're trying to show somebody, you have those options to kind of edit those lines and what they look like. I'm going to click out of that. We'll also have the actual arrow. So the first click is the end of it, and then the second click is the start of the arrow. So if we look down there, we now have it pointing at this dimension line and grid. Next one's arc. So that's just a point to point. We can come down here and kind of configure it in different ways if needed. And then now we'll take a look at the polyline. So this is multi-points. So we can pick here, here, maybe down, back up, then press enter to then place that polyline. And then we have fake dimension. So if I just want to dimension this grid line to this grid line, I have that option. And then here I can actually apply the text. So if I grab another one, pick this point and then let go on this grid, I then get a cursor to place text here. Maybe I want it to actually be 35 feet. Maybe that's the actual dimension. And we'll touch on measuring in a later video, but if you wanted to fake a dimension, you have that option with this tool. So we have a rectangle. Again, we can scale this and kind of flex it and move it in different directions. We have ellipse. Scaling it. Maybe we need to change the thickness. Maybe it needs to be blue. We'll come down here and we'll paste this polygon. We can actually grab the angles and flex those. So that's essentially all the tools for annotation. You have a number of properties associated with each tool, so do be aware of that when you're placing these, to select the item and see what options you have that can be applied to the annotation. And then to manage all this, if you remember to check your markups list, come down here and you can see what you've applied, what you need to put comments on, what layer it's supposed to be on. And if you don't see this, you can right click, show, and then find markups here. And then if it shows, it pops up here or shows up down here, you can just move it to wherever you want to dock it.